Hi there and welcome everyone. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you again on Wednesday, October 9th, 2024 for another card reading today. The other one I released was at between like 3 and 4 in the morning, and that was kind of more of a intensive dedication to all of those about to be in the path of the upcoming storm off the west coast of Florida right now, and also for all of those still dealing with the horrific aftermath, of the previous hurricane in North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida as well. Let not whatever, all eyes and attention, that are going toward the approaching storm in the Gulf of Mexico right now to Florida, let that not in any way diminish all of the loving energy and wishes, best wishes and any, kind of support that people can give. Let that not diminish all of that coming your way to everybody in North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida if you were adversely to devastatingly impacted from the previous storm. Okay. That being said, though, I now want to switch the energies up a little bit. I didn't even plan on doing a reading now, but something just said, no, let's do this. Let's kind of not necessarily lighten the mood to, haha, like nothing's going on that isn't worthy of some kind of more serious attention. But for everyone else, there's going to be plenty of people who are not, in line to receive any effects of the storms coming right now. And so I just kind of want to switch a little bit back to more of the collective. Also kind of get out of like a more down area, or it's not down, but more somber tone, even though it was connected in serious prayer for, like I said, for anybody kind of challenged with the storms coming. And actually the previous video was also for anybody dealing with just storms in your life in general, kind of more metaphorical ones or symbolic ones. Now, I had a big kind of intuitive push to get a video out now that lightens things up a little bit. So for those of us who can be outside of that kind of storm realm and outside of maybe having loved ones affected by it, for us to ramp up our energy even greater so that we can envision the storm continuing to dissipate. So the active one, I want to thank everybody who has, whether you did it by watching my channel or prompted to or just did it on your own. Even if you just well-wished the people in Florida, even if you just looked at the map that they try to show all the time and ramp it up as really extra disastrous when they really shouldn't do that. They should just report the facts and then actually call everyone to come together and see it dissipating. That would be a great thing. So just know that for all of you that have done that, where you just kind of look it on the map and go, nope, it's going to shear apart, dissipate, dissipate, dissipate. Those collective thoughts and well wishes are taking root. They really are working. And I've seen a lot of other YouTube channels out there now embracing this and actually posting little things like, hey, everybody, let's just come together and just see that thing shearing apart or dissipating. And you know what? It really does have a huge impact. So let's keep that up. And especially, this is this setup. I never usually do this. I was just prompted to do, like a north at the top, south at the bottom, east over here, and west over here, and kind of like collective energies in the middle. I was inspired too, just kind of by animals, and then then came doing this, like in the spirit of the four directions. I'll read this coming up. This is the medicine wheel of the Lakota, the four directions. And, I hope this is a faithful, interpretation or publication. This just came from a postcard I picked up somewhere, but it's just talking about the medicine wheel represents the balance, of human lives and of the natural world. And then coming in strong through this. So we've got like number 4 as a theme here, four directions. Also, medicine wheel. But mostly why I wanted to do this video was because I had a very strong call for animals and animal energy to come through to help us ground, anchor, and lighten the mood up a little bit. Again, so we can be, actually, I'm just thinking of it now. I see why I was kind of led to set things up this way. So if you look at like the center being like the, the collective and those who might be in it with dealing with the storms, again, storms of all kinds, it's like we are here, us here trying to elevate the mood and the energies and the love around the outside of this so that we can focus all our loving energy toward the center, so that we can then uplift everything going on and actually affect real change, like dissipating the storm. So already it's showing that it is shearing apart even more than they were projecting. And so let's just keep up the good news, the good work, the good, not hard work, the good lighthearted work here. Okay, spiritually speaking. Now, again, however you did that, if you've been sending out well wishes, can be as simple as saying, I wish them all well. And if you mean it, that is everything. That counts as a prayer, a blessing, whatever. Others, you might want to connect on your own in various ways, light a candle. Other people want to dive into the Bible, whatever works for you. There's no rules. I mean, you can even blast some music and dance around, and in your heart, you're just wishing them well and trying to raise the frequency. Any number of things work. So anyway, thank you again to everyone helping to shear that storm apart with your good energies. Okay, so that being said, though, let's now shift gears. And now we're going to jump to drawing in on the animal energies. Animals have such loving energies and are very high vibrational life forms. And so let us get into those energies. I don't know what I'm going to call this yet. It might be something like, hey, animal spirit, let's hear it. Something like that. We'll see. So I'm going to do an overall, just kind of go through and flip the cards on all of this. And actually, this time around, it'll be a fun little new thing. You feel free if you want to just do this as a pick a card. If you don't want it as a collective energy kind of reading, you can go ahead and just select an individual pile or group. So I'll come in and show you which ones that can be. Oh, and by the way, the background is this. I love this candle. It's orange blossom scent. And we've got a little penguin and panther wanted to show up, bring in some good energies here. So now we have this like kind of little red pom-pom ball with a llama. That's group, we'll just say that's group 1. Oh, and also I have this little elephant wanted to be represented as well, elephant energy. Then we have group 2, we'll call it. It's going to be this yellow little pom-pom ball or gold one and a goose. Is that a goose or a swan? Sorry, it's a swan. I think that's a swan. I think it's supposed to be a swan. Well, you know what? It can be a swan or goose, whichever one you like. And then we'll call this group 3 with this little purple pom-pom ball and a dolphin. And we'll call this group 4 with a little turtle and a purple little sparkle pom-pom ball. And then I guess, we'll go ahead and call this group 5 with a little hedgehog and a bunch of little colorful pom-poms. And then, of course, like I said at the beginning, I think the intention of this, though, at least coming from me, will be doing like a collective reading where we kind of look at this loosely as a medicine wheel and keep that, theme in mind with an added number instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 with the 4 directions. We'll also have a 5th, meaning like all of us here in the mush pot, so to speak, in a good way, at the center, kind of like maybe an underlying or not, I don't want to say overarching, overall, energies combined, okay, with us in the middle. All right, I'm going to go ahead and read this. And again, anyone out there, if this is, not completely accurate, please correct me. Otherwise, I'm just going to take this at face value. It still might be something that someone needs to hear, whether it is or not, 100% accurate. But let's do this. Let's say, okay, so we'll look at this as, north. This is another way to pick your group if you want. Is going to be, we're going to move in the direction of north, east, south, and then west. Okay? So let's read what these each are. So let's look at north. And it says, I'm not going to read the Lakota language, but you can see it here because I don't want to mispronounce it without pre-researching it to make sure I say it right. But we have north, white, night, winter, mind, old age, and wisdom. So again, that might help you, see if you want to pick that particular pile if you're going to do select a group. All right, then let's go to the east. And east is this little collection there. Okay, the east says red, morning, spring, spirit, childhood, and generosity. All right, then we'll move over to the south. Was this purple, with the dolphin? And that is yellow, noon, summer, soul, like, your soul and your body, adolescence, and fortitude. And then we will move over to the west, which is this little grouping here, and that says, hang on. Okay, black, evening, autumn, body, adulthood, and bravery. All right, so that might help you out. And then the middle, just, that'll be if you want to go with the hedgehog in that little grouping. All right, now also we'll see if we have time. Some in a very unusual way, a card kind of jumped out of a couple cards jumped out of also this angel guidance deck, so I might get to that. I might not. Let's see, because really this was kind of animal spirit energies from the animals intensive, but let's see. Okay, so let me see. I guess we will go one by one with these groups and end up at the center. And so again, feel free to read this as individual groups or stick around for the whole collective, if there's a message coming out. So I'm going to move these away. And let's see, so group, we'll call it group 1. Two cards came out for that. So we have the monkey, and I'll put the names of the decks in the description area below eventually here. And the monkey's got some fruits going on. It says, inner child, don't take life too seriously. Then we have the honeybee with beautiful roses. It says, divine feminine, you are being called on to rise. Okay. So I think I will read these also from the companion books. So right now, I like the energies of this. It's kind of got the energy of play and also nurturing and upliftment. And so anyway, that's very clear if you just pick this as an individual group, that those energies are coming through loud and clear. And let me just read some excerpts for monkey and honeybee from the companion book. Give me a moment. Okay, on the monkey page, you also have a bonus animal energy on the bookmark that I put in there, and that's bat. Okay, a bat, like a flying bat. So here we go. Monkey, inner child, the elements are air and earth. And it says, don't take life too seriously. The monkey is all about playfulness with his mischievous and inquisitive nature. He signals the need to have more fun. Call on him to bring you a boost of energy to any of your chakra centers. This is a gentle reminder to be more cheerful and lighthearted in your approach to everything. The monkey asks you to talk to your inner child. Maybe you have some focused healing to do there, or perhaps you just need to acknowledge that side of you and embrace it more at the moment. See the humor in situations. Laugh a little more. Laughter is healing. Perhaps it's time to take life a little less seriously. Okay, and they also talk about there being crystal companions for the energy of this, as being crazy lace, agate, amethyst, and tiger's eye. Okay, and I just want to add here too, anything you can do to get into the mood of play, it seems like this is for you, for this group. And I just know that if you're in the United States, I don't know if you can access this type of thing in other countries, but if you just go to one of them, I don't want to give it by name and give it credit, but any of the online, bigger markets, or hopefully you can find like a local store, mom and pop type store that would have it. But I just remember I was at some kind of convention once, and there's a booth, and they were handing these little kind of toy monkeys out to, had a little cape on it, it had their logo on it. But anyway, it was called a slingshot monkey, and you take the arms, like you put your fingers in the arms and the hands, and the thing had like really long arms that had rubber band elastic inside, and you would just pull back and then shoot the monkey across the room, and it would scream like the screaming monkey. So that actually did bring up some levity. Somebody shot one across the office I was working at. I never knew about these things and existed, and you just hear this howling monkey, and it went across and it howled and screamed across the entire office, which was pretty long, and everyone just started laughing. So it's a great way to be light and break some tension if there is, or lighten up a otherwise maybe heavy energied atmosphere. All right, anyway, find a way to play today. Go swing in a tree like this monkey, quite literally. Hang from a branch, just do what will make you smile and laugh. Turn on some music, maybe, even something as simple as you take a shower every day, don't even think about it twice. Maybe even you just make it quick, get in, get out. Well, maybe consider playing some music in the background while you take a shower and see how your mood will change if you select something that you really enjoy. Just a thought. Okay, now honeybee, let's see what we've got there in the companion book. And give me a moment. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm bouncing the camera around. I am holding it in one hand as I try to open the book with my other hand. Sometimes the pages stick. It's a little tricky. All right, you have a bonus card of the bear as well. So bear energy is coming through as well, which is kind of funny because bears plus honey, right? I mean, bears love honey. So here we go. Actually, don't know why I'm saying it, but, it just reminds me of Winnie the Pooh, right? He's always trying to get the honey. All right, honeybee, divine feminine, elements of air and earth, you are being called to rise. All right, let me get to this message. Hang on. Again, bear with me. The book is a bit stiff and the pages are kind of sticking. It's hard to read. All right, hold on. When I first asked the honeybee to sit with me, it showed me a beautiful pink rose, the symbol of the divine feminine. The bee was insistent that the rose featured on this card. The rose works with the honeybee to activate your heart gently, to let the energetics of the bee's honey into your heart to coat it with the love you need. The honeybee moves from flower to flower, passing on its healing messages, a messenger of the plant world and leaving trails of light where it flies. They are so important in our ecosystems for much more than we understand in the physical earthly sense. The honeybee and relatives hold subtle vibrations by creating channels of energy for light to move through. They work closely with the elemental realms to bring the light onto our planet. They weave it through webs around our land. If you pull this card, you are asked to look at all the ways you let the light into yourself, your heart, hang on, to be continued here. Next page. Your space. Let me move in here. Shine a light on all you see. Sending healing light is powerful and can be done simply by holding the person or place you want to heal in pure light. There's a multitude of higher vibration light hitting the earth that you can welcome in. The great wave of light that comes to each from 2020 onwards brings strength, embodiment, alignment, and empowerment. Welcome its light and the grand central sun, Helios, to shine down on you today. Let Mary Magdalene guide that light into the pink rose that is your heart. Some crystal companions are bumblebee, jasper, rose quartz, and ruby. Okay, now they mention Helios and they mention Mary Magdalene. With that, don't get too caught up in some of those energies when they talk about, I think the good thing about that message is to, yes, bring in some of that cosmic divine light. And so just imagine it coming in instead of those two specific references, whatever works for you. If those work for you, great. I would choose different things to kind of think of bringing that energy in. But it's up to you. Everyone has a different understanding, as they say, on these things. So go with what makes sense for you. Okay? All right, so that's going to be it for group 1. I already like, though, that for our little wheel here, if we look at it as the 4 directions or kind of a medicine wheel, healing wheel, whatever you want to call it, working between, us human beings and nature, I already love that we're talking about playfulness and bringing in healing light, from coming from a very loving space to all the earth. And we are a big part of that, just as that bee is bringing in and bringing things back and forth into different areas with its good properties and things that it can do inherently. That's like us going from person to person, as we see out in the community. Maybe be that like light in the room, be that person who just lights up a room just by showing up, not even saying a word, even just smiling. So that bee represents, I think, a very happy energy, little divine being that has a synonymous effect of us coming in with good, loving intention, walking in a room and lighting it up. All right, so now let's go. We'll call this group 2. And again, calling it a swan, but it could also be a goose, hard to say, with that little charm depiction. And now we have 3 cards. And let's see what the little spirit of the animals have to say in here. This is a beautiful deck, and actually it pairs the animals with, plants or flowers. So let's just see where we want to go with this. And I'll just kind of read them all at first glance. We have the cat and lavender, independence. And we have the finch and peach, romance. And then we have The hawk and thistle. Graceful persistence. And you know what, for those of you who do track numbers and like to look up the numerology, I always put the blog site, Australian blog site I like to reference for that, in the description area below. I'll put that down later. And you type in any number of digits and it will give you the positive aspects of and meanings of that number. So let me look at it without looking on the viewfinder because I can't read it as well. So the cat and lavender is number 1. The finch and the peach is 36, which is also a 9. And then this hawk card looks like, give me a second, oh goodness. I think it's 54 or 9. And even if it isn't, we'll just go with that for now. I can't quite read the Roman numeral from here. Okay, with its the text size is kind of small. Okay, so let's just see. Isn't this interesting? We have a little trio of this cat who actually you could well imagine, at least a lot of cats, especially if they're outdoor cats, aren't so harmonious when it comes to birds because they tend to catch them and often kill them, right? So, but just as a cat can be sometimes looked at as a predator, it can also be the sweetest thing and not be the type that's the least bit interested in the bird. So it's just kind of emphasizing that, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, and each of us are independent and free to express ourselves however we wish. And let me just see if the cat has a certain expression. Yeah, that cat looks like it has definite, I would say, catitude, an attitude in a cat. Yeah, some are mean, some are the sweetest things ever. So just maybe consider what's your personality or how you feeling today. And if you're a bit grumpy or even on edge, you know, maybe look to soften it like the lavender around it. Maybe it's time for aromatherapy or just getting a little, you know, potpourri of lavender or something. Anything that'll help calm you down a bit and take the edge off and get into a more heart space, you know, area like that the little white tuft of fur, you know, is really drawing focus to get out of the head and go into the heart and maybe operate, go about your day from there, keeping that in mind and not let the troubles of the world in your head swirl around, but, you know, get back down into that heart space and still be independent, but, you know, go about your world not forgetting to have as much love and compassion as you can. All right, the finch and the peach talking about romance. Maybe that's something that's coming your way. And if you want it, and if you don't want it, maybe it's just your love affair with nature and go out and do something interesting. Maybe something that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone. You know, it looks like that bird has to do a lot of work to carry that heavy peach, although it looks effortless. But maybe just go out of your comfort zone a little bit, maybe try something new. For some people, again, I'm just basing this kind of U.S. centric here, but there are things like if you don't have a little community of friends at the moment or anyone you can go do things with and you don't want to burden, you know, go out, it feels like a burden to go out alone and too much of a stepping out of your comfort zone to go by yourself. There are little organizations online. I know, like Meetup is one thing where, say you like to do kayaking and you can't find anybody, just, you know, look it up. Maybe there's a little organization that has all the equipment and then you just go do that. Or any kind of fitness, you know, yoga or dance activities. There might be stuff that can all be done outside. I know there's a lot of places, depending on where you are in the United States, that do have kind of outdoor yoga or outdoor tai chi. Things like that might interest you. And if it is something where you are looking for romance in the romantic sense, I think this just bodes well that it's on its way. You know, it's in flight. All right, now we have this hawk and thistle, graceful persistence. That really is a beautiful depiction of a hawk. Let's see, I'm going to go to the book for this one because I'm not quite picking up anything other than the spirit of this animal really does portray that even though it is a predator, it's just, you know, not in an evil way. This is a very high-vibed card. Even the thistle, it said, kind of can represent spiritually, like Jesus and the crown and all of that, kind of a crossover between spirituality and religion depictions of him. But anyway, it's all to say it's very higher-minded. The purple of the thistle is also like representing the crown chakra and all good things, you know, very the highest of the chakras, as, you know, that hawk flies high. Let's see, though, if there are any specific messages that want to come out for that, because I'm not really getting anything specific for that in this little grouping. But let's go to the companion book anyway and see what they have to say, or what that author has to say about these cards, because she does pair them very specifically with the plants and the flowers. So I'm just looking for the little book. Here it is. All right, so let's start. Let's see if I can. Yeah, we'll start with the cat, and the bookmark there. Sorry, it's actually from a different deck, and it's a cobra. So that's interesting. Maybe that means something to you. Let's see. And I wouldn't look at the negative aspect of a cobra, but the positive one. And actually, that ties back to this first group, because it talks about you're being called on to rise, and to me that would be the cobra spirit. All right, so anyway, let's see. This says, and this is just a little book I'm going to read from off camera. Sorry about the camera moving all over. All right, it says, independence. Cats are cunning, clever, and independent. Often loners, they represent self-reliance. While Lavender's scent brings soothing comfort, its Victorian association with distrust reminds us to look inward, relying on our own instincts and inner resources. You can seek your full potential without depending on validation from others. Power, resourcefulness, and potential are keywords to remember. Now, if the card came out in reverse, I still want to read the reverses on a lot of these things because there's good messages in there. It says, themes of imbalance and insecurity. Don't let fear guide your path. Instead, think of a serene and solitary cat. Try to embody such trust in your own instincts and abilities. And then they have a couple of little questions to maybe focus on, or challenges to consider. How can I learn to trust myself? What traits do I possess that I can rely on? Okay, so it's kind of a food for thought there. Now let's see what the other Finch and Peach want to talk about. Extra little bonus animal spirit coming through there for you is the elk. And let's see. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Let's read about the Finch and the Peach. So, romance. Let me put this book where I can read it. Love is in the air when the finch and peach appears. The peach, a sweetly scented, heart-shaped fruit, has long been associated with fertility, sexuality, and love, and the lively finch symbolizes exuberance, enthusiasm, and excitement. Your vibrancy and charm have led to a blossoming romance. Be open to and accepting of new love's many delights. Now, if this card were in reverse, which it wasn't, I'll read it anyway. Your timidity or unwillingness to take risks may be hindering your chances at love. Remember that vulnerability, while frightening, is essential to healthy relationships. A couple questions to maybe consider are, how do I show others I love them? And do I feel safe and supported enough to be open to new love? So yeah, if anyone's struggling with that, it does take time, especially if you've had experiences that weren't so friendly or fond. You know, if you've been betrayed or had some pretty negative experiences. They do say time heals all wounds. Yeah, sometimes it is a matter of time to get there. And don't judge yourself if it's, you look at others and you go, wow, they rebounded and had a relationship right away. Or, oh my gosh, they went through hell, but look, now they have a partner and are even getting married, or things seem good. Why is it taking me so long? It could take years, it could take months, it could take decades. Don't judge yourself on the timing. You're ready when you're ready, and whoever's meant to come in will. And, all in divine timing. So, again, just don't judge yourself on it. And if it does come in suddenly, just maybe use a little bit of caution and just make sure it's not too fast, too soon type of thing, energy. And just try to really connect in and make sure it's right. Okay, now let's read. I'm really interested to see what the hawk message is. The hawk and thistle. And your extra bonus card, your animal spirit there is scorpion. And I'll read this from the book. And it says, graceful persistence. Sorry for the moving around camera. The hawk is a keen and vigilant observer. So much so that watchful and hawk-eyed have become synonyms. An apex predator, the hawk glides gracefully on the wind, its sharp talons ever at the ready. The thistle can thrive in a variety of environments, from verdant hills to rocky shores, Its spiked, stinging leaves protect its radiant flower, which perches like a crown upon its stem. You can act fiercely while maintaining your grace and dignity. Sharpen your talons, but don't lose your crown. That's a beautiful message. I'm going to read that again. Sharpen your talons, but don't lose your crown. If this were in reverse, it's not, but we'll go for it. It says, external pressures have weakened your resolve. Remember your worth and guard it closely. A couple of questions to think about or meditate on is, am I too easily influenced by my environment? And how can I thrive in a difficult situation? All right. Love the energies coming through there. Yeah, I don't think this one is one to really cut. Well, yeah, there's one little message coming through. Again, I was kind of wondering why this is a specific trio here. And it would just be that, we've got two aspects, one of more of the predator bird and one of maybe more of the victim, depending on how and what this cat is all about. So if this cat were to be in predator mode and go after this bird, there's always a bigger fish in the sea, and this hawk actually could do a ton of damage to this cat. So it's kind of like, watch what you're doing because, it may also be done unto you type of thing. And then on a more happier note, say neither are in predator mode, because there's plenty of times where they're not swooping down to pick something up or attack. Let's just assume they're all in kind of neutral mode and just the beautiful harmony that, all of us can coexist, even though in some circumstances it may seem that some are more foe than friend, right? But there are those times where we can absolutely be friends, though our characteristics and makeup, of who we are might indicate otherwise in other circumstances. All right, now let's move on to this group at the bottom, and let's see what we have here. And this we're calling group 3, or this is going to be part of the overall once I get there. Once I turn all the cards over, we'll see what happens with messages wise. Okay, now this one's interesting. I'm not going to read from the companion book for this group, but let's see what we have. We have a nice little trio of cards here. So, and actually, you know what? Give me a second. I'm going to focus over here. I got to re-scramble the cards. I want to put them in the order that they came out. I think it's important for some reason. They came out in a slightly different order when they jumped out when I shuffled the deck. Okay, so we have, am I receiving peace? And we have another little bird show up. There was bird intensive in the last group. Soothe, and it's the element of the river. So we've got nice water energy. We have a bird and a frog, some nice flowers. Looks like not tulips, but maybe something close in like a daisy or chamomile. Am I receiving peace? How's your river today? Is it calm or is it rising and dangerous? Your inner river. Okay, now we have what is mending. We have what looks like a chrysanthemum or sunflower type energy there with wings and a heart in the center and leaves and other kind of daisies. And it's purple cone flower, heal. And this is an invitation to look up on your own maybe what a cone flower is, a purple cone flower. And then we have, what role is mothering energy playing in my life, with an emphasis on my life. We have the Eastern Cottontail with some purple flowers, looks like wildflowers. Again, some kind of other flower. It doesn't look, it's not a tulip, but it looks like, some kind of little wildflower. We've got a couple little bunnies. And the main message is nurture. So there's no question if you're looking at this as an individual group. Big mother nurture, mother nature, healing, soothing energies coming here. No question. Lots of little hearts, a couple of hearts here. And we have the rabbit, with nurture is, looking in at the heart. And, the river is actually flowing to the heart. So the heart is at the center of everything. So you might be in a mode where your heart needs healing. Or it could also be that you are the embodiment of a healing heart and you are perfectly equipped to soothe and help heal and nurture others, whether it's little ones or older ones or just whoever you can. Could also be like a little message coming through on the group 1 is that you could be the very essence and embodiment, personification of like the sun, that golden or the pure white light, however you want to look at it, in the heart space, that divine spark. that just by showing up, we've talked about this before in other readings, just by walking through a public place, just by strolling through a park or walking through a store like a grocery store, just your very presence is the soothing balm for everybody around you. And you might even start seeing people start smiling and and sometimes have kind of, I say this lovingly, have like a dopey expression on their face. They're almost like in a trance as you walk by. And I've talked about this personally happened to me. It's happened a lot, I think, starting around 2018. It doesn't happen as much now, but it does here and there. And it always surprises me each time, because usually I'm not even in a great, I wanted to say frame of mind, but I'm not even in a great energy, I would say. Like I could be very sad or feeling lost or confused or just, lower vibration. And I walk through, and yet all these people start smiling and have this kind of dopey, kind of childlike wonder look in their eyes as I walk by and smile. And so it just shows you that even though your emotions may say one thing, that's still kind of connected with your mind of how you're feeling, more so than your heart, I would say, because then your heart is doing something totally different. It's sending out a gorgeous signal, and God is maybe also just activating and lighting that heart up extra beyond your conscious control, beyond your mind, controlling that. And so just remember, sometimes you're in your most broken state, that like your heart needs healing. Sometimes that's the best time to push yourself to, get out of your comfort zone. Like this bunny's kind of in protective mode, protected by the plants, just enjoying it really. But just, don't be afraid to get out of any kind of camouflaged area and just stand, all for all to see, open up and go out in a public place. And because others too, when you walk by them, God might be working through them to send that golden glow that will help heal you just by being in their presence. So it kind of works both ways. Okay, I think that's all I want to say about that one, other than, let's see what the message on the rabbit was again. What role is a mothering energy playing in my life? So Eastern Cottontail. For that one, I know there's specific characteristics of bunnies. I've never had one. I know some people do have them as pets even. But of course, it's just a little loving beating heart. Maybe it's just a reminder to, whether it's a rabbit or some other kind of living creature that has a loving presence. Maybe being around one might be good for you too right now. Maybe getting out in nature and going, again, I'm kind of basing this on a Western, U.S. point of view, but find a petting zoo, go out to a farm, or go anywhere where somebody might have a rabbit and just, a calm one, and pet the fur to be very nurturing for you. Or that can be a cat or a dog or whatever, right? It's just bringing in that animal spirit, is saying, find something kind of soft and fuzzy and cuddly and just pet it and allow that interaction, that loving interaction, to help nurture each other, okay? And mainly the animal nurturing us, because they kind of come already equipped in that state of mind. They're not typically running around worrying about, what we do in the 3D world of paying bills, or, oh my gosh, is that hawk going to come and get me? They're just existing and, going about their business, very connected and grounded. So it's good if we can connect with some very peaceful animals like that ourselves, especially if we are looking for soothing, healing, and nurturing. All right, now we're going to move over to this group. And let's see what we have here. We have a couple of cards. Came out on this one. Let me put them in the order that they came out, that they popped out. So we have two interesting ones as a little pairing. Maybe a pairing, maybe standalone. Let's see. So we have number 65, or an 11 or a 2. And we have this gorgeous whale spirit moving along. It says, trust the great mystery. Then we have 47, or an 11 or a 2. And we have this pig with wings on a cloud with little bubbles rising up. And we have pig spirit, use your mind wisely. And I want to note that this also is right away a message about there's more than one way to approach anything. There's more than one solution to anything. And there's more than one way to let go and just play and float and be lighthearted. And either way you come to it, you can get there. There's no right or wrong on how you're going to get there into that energy. And I like it that because this is illustrating that a 65 can be in numerology like taken down to an 11. And so can 47. That's also an 11. You add 6 plus 5 or 4 plus 7. You're going to get 11. and you can then add the 1 plus 1 and you get your 2. That's why I talk about that as far as the numbers of what they reduce down to. So anyway, 2 different 11s, very different. We've got a calm blue energy on the left, a happy rose-colored pink, theme on the right. This one is floating in the medium of water, and this one is floating on a cloud in air. Both air and water can also represent a form of communication. We look at as a medium of communication. We look at the whale with this whale song, so beautiful. This might be an invitation for you to look around on YouTube or somewhere else and find examples of whale songs. A lot of people make some soundtracks with them. Or if that's not where you're, if you're not jiving and gelling with that kind of energy, then, we have air, as another form of communication. So you might want to look to the windwoods, like a Native American flute, or, some type of, maybe you're connecting in with Ireland and those energies. Then you would have, I think it's called the penny whistle, little like tin whistle, and like a little tin flute or brass or whatever they make it out of, kind of flute and wind instruments. The pig standing there on the cloud with wings is also kind of just reminding me right now of an angel playing a harp. So whatever the case, I think in a strange way, this is all leading me to say maybe connect in with sound, to kind of lift your spirits into a higher vibration if you need to, okay? So I really love this pairing too, because on the left, it's saying trust the great mystery, coming more from a heart space. And then the right, it's saying use your mind wisely, coming from the head space. So, and both of them are looking at each other and kind of in a static position, like caught in a moment of time. And so it's just reminding me of bringing those 2 energies of the heart and the mind and bring them together in a balanced way. Obviously, we have each for a reason, and they're best serving us when we have them in balance and in, kind of harmony and even a little bit of a communion. So let me go to the book now and see what they have to say, because I think there's some good messages in here from what I remember. I remember most recently I had the whale, so I remember that one a little more. So let's see what we have. Oh, you're also going to have a bonus card as the bookmark in the companion book. Let me see what we have. And I'm probably going to show this on camera. I didn't show the other ones on camera. You have number 16 or 7, Coyote Spirit, Trust in Divine Detours. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but that might be an extra message you need to hear right now. Okay, I'll put that off to the side. So let's read about the whale spirit. Trust the great mystery. Okay, and I'm sorry if I move the camera weird. Whale spirit is an ancient creature who was here at the beginning of time and who has seen everything, felt everything, and heard everything that has ever transpired on this planet, in the hidden realms where all things must gather first before manifesting into form. Whale spirit is the keeper, singing the soul of the whole world from the deepest waters of the coldest seas. When whale spirit appears, it is a reminder that there is a great mystery that you must accept without intellectually trying to understand it. Some things cannot be known by the mind, only experienced through the heart, through intuition, and through the peripheral senses that part the invisible veils separating the visible world from the great manifesting consciousness in the hidden realms. Now is the time for you to immerse yourself in the great mystery of spirit and to trust that within the invisible, what you can't see now are the seeds of your intentions being tended to by angels. How beautiful, right? I'm going to stop right there. And I said at the very beginning intro, I think if we have time for it, and I remember I do have 2 cards that did jump out in a very weird way from an angel guidance deck as I was getting the animal cards together. So I might read those messages. All right, I'm moving now on to the pig spirit. Use your mind wisely. And your little bonus card bookmark there is dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. 19 or a 10 or a 1. And I'll just show you that card because it's so beautiful. Something in here might mean something to you, even if it's the gems or the flowers, the dog itself. Be loyal to what you love. Okay, that's an extra little thing, but we're going to move on to the pig spirit. All right, let's hear it from pig spirit. Use your mind wisely. Pig spirit appears to remind you of the right use of intelligence, a gift we all have that is meant to be used with love, compassion, and discernment. Intelligence means recognizing the value of intuition partnered with smarts and common sense, which leads to intelligent solutions. When pig spirit appears, you are called to respect your analytical mind and use it for the highest good, recognizing that all facts must be considered even when they do not fit with what you know already. Spirit blesses us with wisdom when we allow pig spirit to nudge us into open-minded, thoughtful dialogues, whether with others or internally, as we mull over our ideas and what we have come to understand. You are intelligent and capable of clear-minded thinking, shaped by the wisdom you have accumulated and the intuition that will tell you when you have more learning to do, because not all facts are in. Now is the time that your decision-making powers are reliable, for you are in alignment with Pig Spirit's keen intelligence. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that right now. I'm just looking at the time, and I'm going to have to hop off in a minute. So let me get to now the center here. And in the middle, everyone, let's see if this is just an individual pile for you. Let's get to it. And I'm sorry if this is an individual pile for you, Group 5. I got to make this rather short. I do have to hop off. I didn't plan on this taking too much time here. All right, it is what it is. So you have 3 cards. We have Hawk, Golden Egg, and Crow. And actually, I'm going to read. It's interesting that you have 2 air signs with the Hawk and the Crow. We did have a Hawk over in Group 2. You might want to look over there. Depicted in a very different way. And let me get to reading this. And you know what? I'm not going to do any individual interpretation. I'm going to read stuff straight up. And you know what? If I might post something more on this in the community page. But yeah, for whatever reason, the last Group 5, this is going to have to be cut short. I'm just going to read the center one. I do like, though, that we've got an old golden egg imagery, and that the crow is also kind of perched on a magical kind of golden egg. So I'm just going to read the golden egg for now. I guess there's a reason for this. So, message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard, nor the message discerned, until we retreat from the noise of modern-day life. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga, nidra, or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may, in a moment, swell like you are seeing an old friend that's been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you. And, okay, I'm just going to stop there for now. There's also a little bonus message here if you need another animal and energies from it that you want to look into on your own. And you have shark. And actually, there are 2 more bookmarks that I had in the other 2 spirit animals. And you have an extra animal energy of gazelle and lizard. Okay, and again, pardon, I didn't get to go into more depth on Group 5. You might want to go visit any of the other other groups, because they have longer messages if you need more, if you need to hear more, okay? Now, when I zoom out, if I just want to look at this collectively, for more of a overall, looking at like more of like the medicine wheel energy, I love that we have at the heart of everything is this kind of depiction of our heart space, a golden center. It could be looked at as the divine spark, the all of who we are, the all that is, contained in a perfect geometry here. Kind of mysticism and our ability to fly high and rise in any situation. I love that that's kind of at the heart of everything. And just to kind of recap, because I had to go over everything individually, I love that we have, yes, the spirit of lighting up the room and the divine help, and that we can connect into all of that, all the better if we're in a state of play and childlike wonder. We have, be you, be individual, come into this world and just, by being you and who you are, for better or for worse on any given day, That is our role, to be here. There'll be times when we are predator or prey, times where we might be feeling out of our comfort zone, but that doesn't mean to shut off to love, because the love is the essence of who we are. Then we have underlying spirit of knowing that no matter what we're going through in life and whatever facets we are in, whatever momentary situations we are in, we always have the soothing, healing, and nurturing energy at the base of all of it, in many different ways to receive that. If we can, again, keep the heart open no matter what's going on in our lives, and no pressure, no time on it of how long it takes to get there, to be back and open-hearted or more loving, even if we've gone through some very bruising and tough experiences emotionally. Then I love that we come equipped to deal with everything in life in a natural and good way, because we do have the heart space and the mind space, and our ability to oscillate between both, but also more powerfully combine the best of both of those worlds to make a more complete whole of who we are, and to go forward into life bringing those gifts, again, who is just us showing up right into the world. All right. Well, that's it for now. I want to thank everybody for joining me, whether you're new or returning to this channel. And as always, I wish you tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.